G'day guys, welcome back to Our Whittle Adventure. We thought we'd do a bit of a Q&A and a bit of a life update because we haven't spoken to you for a while. We did 15 months of travel, but we've been parked up for the last 3 months, and we chose to do that in Geraldton for a few reasons. One, we've got family there, and we had a new little niece, Camille, born, so it was nice to spend some time with her, spend some time with her parents, so Clem's brother and his wife Carly. So Leon and Carly, and then Clem's parents as well. So it was really nice to just park up there, spend some good quality time with family after being away for 15 months. We also needed to work, top up our accounts, and one of the reasons we needed to do that was we still had a house, and that was starting to cost us money.
So we chose to rent when we left, basically because the markets weren't looking great for selling the house in the area that we lived in. So we chose to rent it out, and it did work for a little while, but our repayments weren't covering our expenses for the house.
The house is getting a bit older too, so there was always maintenance fees. So it was just
always something.
Yeah, there was always something. So it just kept adding up and adding up and adding up. So
we decided to sell. And
we sat down, we thought about, do we really want to go back to that house after we finished traveling? The answer was a resounding no. We don't want to go back to that lifestyle. We don't want to live in Perth again.
No, that's our current status anyway. Who knows what's going to happen in the future. So we spent a month getting that organised, and then it took another month or so to actually sell. So the settlement wasn't...
It sold.
It sold. We sold our house.
We don't have a house.
Hurrah.
So we're now on the road without any restrictions.
Yeah, so we had to sort out some of our finances from the house sale, and we topped up our savings account, and basically we are now getting ready to hit the road for we don't know how long.
We've sort of got plans, rough plans out to the end of the year, but we don't know, and we don't really care at the moment. We'll start thinking about that maybe in 6 months' time. Start thinking about where we want to be and where we want to end up. We haven't found that spot yet. Geraldton is a potential option for us to move to, hence why we want to
spend a bit of time there. We also did quite a few other things over that time, so 3 months definitely was a long time. Mark picked up some very good part-time work.
Yeah, I started working at Harvey Norman in electrical sales, which very different to anything I've ever done before, but I actually really enjoyed it. Really good team of people there, and I just enjoyed the customer side of things, chatting to people and helping them design houses and stuff they wanted to fit it out, so I actually really enjoyed that.
Shout out to the crew at Harvey Norman for taking Mark on.
Yes,
and
no sales experience.
Making him feel a part of the team, and even when Liam and I went in to visit, it felt very friendly, which was amazing.
Nice.
Also big thanks to one of the clients that I work with for taking me on for extra hours and extra days. Really appreciate it, and you know who you are. Really appreciate everything that you do. We also did some checkups with the dogs. They were due for their annual vaccinations and checkups, but we also decided to get a lump removed from Kiri's leg that had been there for a couple of years.
We had got it tested originally, and it was nothing, a fatty lump, but it just hadn't gone away like the previous ones had. So we decided to get it removed and checked, and it was still just a fatty lump, but it was just that peace of mind.
Yeah. So then she was in recovery for about 2 weeks, which meant no beach running for the dogs, so they were a bit sad after that. We also put Liam into daycare for 2 days a week, and it took him a few weeks to adjust. He had a bit of separation anxiety, which was something that we needed to work through as well.
It was good for him. He enjoyed going to school, making friends.
So that was really good for him as well, and it gave us a bit of headspace when we were both working as well.
We could both work on those days, and we didn't have to worry about him. Pick up some extra shifts.
Not too much anyway. The downside to daycare was that Liam copped every sickness under the sun in Geraldton.
He was sick every weekend.
Every weekend, so there wasn't much exploring. So whilst we did do a little bit of sightseeing and adventuring around Geraldton, it was not as much as we
expected.
Sorry, the GoPro's being funny. Not as much as we expected.
Well, I did have an old friend that I reached out to, Ben and Sydney, and their little fella Huey, and now Luca. They took us up, and we went camping with them up in Lucky Bay and stuff. Day trips down on the beach, so that was really nice to spend some time with them. But yeah, we're done now. We've finished our time there. We're back on the road. We're in Carnarvon at the moment. We've just spent a week travelling through Kalbarri, Gladstone Bay near Wurrumble, and now we've rolled into here for Clem to work these next 2 days. I'm going to try and pump out a couple of these episodes. And then we're going to go park up hopefully in like Quobba or somewhere like that.
Somewhere on the Coral Coast.
Yeah.
We're not really sure what to expect. So
the weather looks okay at the moment.
As you probably noticed, we don't tend to plan too much or book. We just need to know where we need to be in a week's time so that I can work, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty well. That's the only thing that we plan, is to make sure she's going to have reception. Usually power is nice. We can run off the inverter, but having power does
really
make it a lot easier.
Yeah. So what are our plans?
We're going to hit up the Gib. That's our first big ticket item. So we're going to roll up there. The van's getting serviced in Port Hedland, and then it's non-stop straight up to the Gib. We're going to stay with our friends Joe and Ellie in Derby, and hopefully they'll join us for that first weekend at one of the nearby gorges, and then we'll hit the rest of the Gib. Take maybe 10 days. Cam's going to take a week off work in the middle, and then hopefully we'll aim for like Equestria or maybe Kununurra for her to work again, and then we'll loop back around, do the bungles and stuff.
So keen to get up to the Gib River Road. We're going to also do some more spots on the Western Australian coastline that we haven't done before.
Yeah. We're both from here, so we've done a lot, but there is still spots that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, so a few stopovers between Port Hedland and Broome that we haven't seen much of that coastline. Don't really know what to expect. Once again, haven't planned anything. But it looks like we'll be coming back to Karratha for a little while and spending some time with family.
My brother's going to be having a baby, so there'll be another little cousin for Liam, so that'll be nice. And we're actually going to leave the dogs in Karratha while we do the Gib. We'll drop them off on the way north and we'll pick them up again on the way south. We just don't feel like we'll get a true appreciation for the Gib. And we'll be worried about them a lot of the time. We know there's lots of baits up there. We know it's going to be snakes and freshies and dingoes and all sorts. It's just going to be a constant worry for us. And we're looking at
doing a hike almost every day, or every second day, which means they're going to be in the van for 4 to 5 hours, possibly on unpowered, and we don't know what the weather's like at the moment. So we've decided to leave them with family in Karratha for 5 weeks.
Yeah, 4 to 5 weeks, I think, is what I'm sort of looking at.
But it's close family, and the dogs love them.
Yeah, they're going to stay with my mum and her partner, so we call them Nana and Nonna for Liam's sake. So they'll stay there. They've got a pool that they don't mind the dogs jumping into, so I think they'll be well loved and looked after there. It's hard for us to leave them, but I think that's going to be a good call.
It's going to break my heart when we drive away.
Yeah. And then, we don't know after that. We want to start maybe heading inland and head east. But we'll see how we feel after the Gib.
So one of the questions we get asked a lot is, how do you find travelling with dogs?
Really? They're not the problem. Liam is harder to manage than the dogs are. They're 10 now. They've done heaps of adventures with us.
They've slowed down a lot. They are way better on the lead now than when we started.
Yeah, not as reactive. Still to dogs, other dogs, but not to people as much now, which is nice.
Really improved in caravan parks, and we also know how to manage their idiosyncrasies, demeanours a bit better as well. But they're also really active dogs, so we enjoy taking them to the beach and then taking them to the park and running with them and having fun with them.
People always ask, don't you find it restricting? And of course it's restricting. We can't go to national parks. We can't all just go on a tour as a family without leaving them somewhere safe. We don't mind leaving them in the van, but a lot of caravan parks don't let you do it. And if there's a policy,
we respect
that. We don't go around them.
We always ask first. So that's probably the only restriction is the van parks. Or if you like to eat out a lot, we couldn't take Costa and Kiri to a cafe together. It would be an absolute disaster.
Kiri we could take anywhere.
Kiri you could take her, or Costa even taking them by themselves, but not together, because as soon as one of them sees a dog.
Yeah, a bit of a pack mentality comes over and they end up,
Yeah, it's not pretty. But we don't eat out much because we're on a tight budget, and usually we're out bush. So yeah, we'll occasionally have a pub lunch, but most of the time that's where we're staying somewhere with a pub.
Yeah, or we can just park outside, and the dogs are quite comfortable in the back of the car. I can lock the car but leave the back open for them, and they just stay in there. We give them water and stuff, and they just chill out in the shade.
Or we get takeout and we go somewhere nice.
Yeah, or go sit down at a picnic, and then Liam can run around without just disrupting everyone else. So we make it work.
Yeah, but we love travelling with them.
Yeah, the loyalty, the fun, the companionship. And the security.
We couldn't have left them behind. It was not an option. And even when we first started planning, everyone asked us what we're doing with the dogs. And we're like,
we were even looking at getting a triple bunk instead of the double bunk, so that they could have the bottom bunk. we thought about them from the moment we started looking at this. They were always coming with us. Yeah.
And it has gotten a lot easier than it was at the beginning.
You wouldn't even know we had dogs half the time. They're asleep right now.
Yeah, they're down here on the floor, snoring. Not sure if you can hear that.
Yeah. So yeah, we love travelling with dogs. We know it's not for everyone. I know a lot of people do their lap and they want to see as much as they can on their lap. We've chosen to do this as a lifestyle rather than just a lap. We don't have a time frame. If we can't get to a place, so be it. We'll do it later on in life. But we've seen some incredible places around the country that are dog friendly, even though we might have missed some of the national parks.
And I think if we could plan ahead, if we were just doing a lap for a year, I would probably look at planning ahead and getting a pet sitter. And I have looked into it a few times. Yeah.
We've been really fortunate as well. We've got friends and family all over the country, so we've
Thanks,
been able to leave the
putting up
dogs
with us.
with them a few times so we could do national parks and stuff. Like
Yeah.
Litchfield National Park was a perfect example. The dogs were in our mate's backyard, so we could do Litchfield.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Easy.
Thanks, guys. So yeah, that's the one big question that we always get asked. But yeah, we love it. We wouldn't travel without them, but it is restricting, hence why we're going to leave them in Carver while we do the give, because we don't think we'll get a true appreciation for that.
Yeah.
And they'll be okay. They're going to be with family, and they're not going to be in a kennel or something. What was question number 2? Let's have a look.
Just check this.
What made us want to travel full time? This was Clem's idea.
You go.
So I was working as an electronic communications technician for it was almost 15 years if you include the apprenticeship with the same company, but I was almost up to 10 years with the company as a technician. And I loved it for a long time. I actually really enjoyed my work, but the role was changing. I was getting moved into office-based roles, and to go up, I didn't actually want to do any of those roles up. And I was so young still, I wasn't even 30 yet. It was looking like I was going to be sitting at a desk job for the next 20 to 30 years. And that scared me a little bit. And then Liam came along, and I actually felt like I was just missing out on so much of that.
You also had a really long commute.
Yeah, because when we bought the house, I was doing FIFO, so I only had to travel to the airport once every few weeks. Where once I got moved into an office-based role, I had to sit on the train. So drive to the train station, then a train, then a walk. It was an hour and 15 minutes each way, each day.
And we could have moved closer to the city, but...
And I did work from home a fair bit. They were pretty good like that.
But no.
It was just driving me nuts. I wasn't really enjoying the office work. I preferred being out on site. So I was just starting to get miserable and just feeling like I was just going through the motions. Wasn't actually living the life I wanted.
No, we were sort of looking for the next big thing.
Yeah, we were working on a few other little projects and stuff.
We did have some things in mind.
But then COVID hit and really disrupted those plans.
Yeah.
Luckily, we haven't spent too much money getting that sorted, but we'll talk about that later on.
So I just, one night, after yet another long and depressing discussion, I mentioned, oh babe, why don't we just move into a caravan and travel around Australia?
And my response was, that would be amazing. Wish we could.
A week later, he goes, I'm really liking this idea.
Yeah, she embedded it. It was like Inception. She embedded it in there, and there was just no looking back for me.
And then a week later, after that, I think we went and looked at this van.
Yeah, this exact van. Clem liked the New Age brand already. I hadn't done a lot of research. I was looking in the second-hand market, but Clem said, let's just go into the showroom and get an idea of layout, see what we want. And I stepped into this one. I had to have it.
It didn't take much. We got really lucky, so this one was available
within the time frame.
Within the time frame that we wanted.
They needed to keep it until September. We were looking at it in July. We were ready to leave by October. So we picked up the van. We had it physically in our front yard for a month before we actually moved into it and drove out. So it worked out really well for us.
But it also worked out for us in that we didn't know this at the time, but we were actually quite prepared to be able to pack up and leave. We're very lucky to have that circumstance. Financially.
Yeah, financially. Because we sold, Clem had a car, I had a motorbike. We already owned the Land Cruiser.
I had 2 cars.
You did for a little while there, yeah.
Hadn't sold the one that I had before Liam, and then I got
We had to upgrade when we had Liam.
Because I couldn't fit the car seat in.
And we still had the old one. So yeah, Clem sold 2 cars, sold the motorbike, so we could pretty well pay for the van outright.
We were very lucky.
And then we sold a bunch of stuff in the house. We didn't keep too much, just kept our good furniture,
so
basically.
We do have a storage unit in Perth. Got a good price on it too. So
yeah, it's not too bad. It's
have to keep an eye on it. It hasn't gone up as much as we thought it would have.
No.
in the time.
And I went and checked on it when we rolled through Perth. Everything looks good.
So did I. It's absolutely chuckers now.
Oh yeah, we added a few extra things, lamb spam and stuff.
Yes. What else is the questions?
Alright, so the next question is, how do we make money on the road? So there's a few different ways, but Clem's the main money earner.
Yeah, so I started my own business a few years ago, and it's evolved a lot from what it used to be.
Very much so.
But now, basically, I'm providing virtual administration services to clients whilst on the road, so remotely. I was lucky enough to have a few clients already on board, and then that has also changed as time goes by. So I work 2 days a week, Wednesdays and Thursdays. I do about 6 to 8 hours a day. Yep, and occasionally I will have other clients come in which I need to work sporadically, so say 3 to 4 hours per week, depending on the client.
A lot of that time can be done after hours though, so like this time.
I usually do it after Liam goes to bed.
But yeah, those Wednesdays and Thursdays are committed time.
Yeah. Yeah, which is pretty good. So I got into that I first heard of it through a friend, thanks Zoe. She got me onto it, and then I was lucky enough to already have clients in that sort of realm, and then it expanded from there. If you are interested in that sort of thing, you can look up the VA Network on Facebook. They are a fantastic group, and they also provide a lot of training courses and all that sort of thing, and a lot of guidance, and there's a lot of shared knowledge and experience there, which you can sort of gather. So that's one option. The other option is on the road, we stop and we work. We pick up local
Like
jobs.
I was just saying, I worked at Harvey Norman just recently for that 3 months. Before that, I worked at a brewery in Karratha, Northwest Brewery.
It wasn't really work.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I was in the
it
kitchen.
work.
I was in the kitchen bar and the brewery, which I loved. I loved
He
being
loves
in the brewery house. So that was a lot of fun working there. Good crew again. We've worked in cafes, bars as well. Usually kitchen hand, because you don't need a lot of skills, and I can hold my own in the kitchen.
The other key thing is to look at your current expenses and what can you get rid of. So if in hindsight we could have done a lot more trimming down of our expenses from when we left, but we didn't really know what we were doing or how long we were going to be on the road for. So even in Gelton, we're still cutting down expenses that we'd totally forgotten about. Subscriptions, they're a real killer.
Yeah, they sort of just add up and come out.
do.
They don't necessarily have that
Notification.
Yeah, in your banking, it could just be something random. So we've been trying to tidy them up.
Tidy that up.
And we just live. We don't pay for a lot of accommodation. We try and free camp or low cost camp a lot of the time. It's what we prefer to do. So we save money here and there. And then the last one is YouTube. So you guys watching along, the ads that you see, which I have learnt that YouTube was putting way too many ads in on their videos.
Sorry
We don't
about
tend
that.
to watch them. It wasn't until someone told me. So I've learnt to adjust that, and now I can tell how many. So I'm trying to just put 2 on per video. But we get paid through Google AdSense. So every ad you watch, we get paid. Works out to be about $8 to $10 per 1,000 views. And we average about 12,000 to 14,000 views a month. So we walk away with $100, $120 a month from YouTube. It's not a lot, but
it's enough.
It's all well.
It's
It used to be a main tank of fuel. It's half a
not
tank
lately.
of fuel now.
Yeah.
But there's a new little feature as well called Super Thanks. You'll see it down the bottom next to where you like and comment and stuff. There's a thanks symbol. So if you feel like you want to buy us a coffee or buy us a beer or something because you've really enjoyed it, or you felt for us because we've struggled through something, that donation actually comes straight to us. We haven't seen it. It's a brand new feature from YouTube. We don't expect anyone to do it, but that's going to be another potential revenue stream. So you'll start seeing that show up on probably all your YouTube videos that you watch. That's a new feature that's just come out. So we'll see. Some people might want to buy us a coffee every now and then. So there you go, coffee on you guys.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works out. But we're not in the YouTube to make money. It's just a nice little extra bit.
We have a bit of fun doing it, and it gives us something to
It's my
focus on.
hobby.
It's your hobby, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, they're the 3 ways that we make money on the road. We've also got like investments and stuff that pay dividends. We just try and reinvest that, so that will just continue to grow. We just don't think about that. We just let that happen in the back end. So
Most of the time I forget that it's even there, which is a nice thing.
yeah, that's
very
our
lucky.
retirement fund. What was our next question?
Cameras and equipment.
Oh yeah, what cameras and equipment and software do we use? So GoPros, we've got a GoPro 10 and a GoPro 8. The 10 has the media kit, so our audio, if you've watched a lot of our videos in the past. the audio should be a lot better now.
Yeah, we're really working on that now. We got the MIDI kit to improve that.
And I was just
specifically.
editing some footage from it. It's so much better. So hopefully that improves it for you guys. The 8 we're going to just use for when we're around water and stuff. We'll try not to talk to that one as much. It's going to be the second camera.
So do tell us when the videos come online over the next few months if you've got any feedback, especially about the audio. Because we don't watch on a big screen, so it's hard to get that or gauge that.
Yeah, and my laptop even glitches a bit when I'm watching it while I'm editing.
Yeah.
And then I've got a DJI Mavic Air too, and I love filming with that. The drone. I love filming with that. I love taking pictures with it, but I love filming with it as well. It's a lot of fun. And then for software, I use free software called Davinci Resolve. You need a beefy laptop to run it. Minimum of 16 gig of RAM, but it's free software and it's pretty awesome. I'm only just scratching the surface of what it's capable of doing. It takes a little while to use, but yeah, I love it. Last question is how long do we plan to travel for, and what's our future plans?
How long do we plan to travel for?
We don't know. We've got plans out to the end of the year, kind of rough plans. And we want to move back to a country town. That's what we've sort of aiming for. But we want some land next time. We don't want to be in suburbia. We don't want to be crammed in around our neighbours again. And we're seriously considering like a shed house. I know a certain other big name family in this sort of world has just done that. We're not copying them. We've had this idea for a while now. We just love the idea of having the shed house. There's a lot more freedom for us if we want to continue travelling.
So great to watch their renos, their renovations.
Get some ideas.
It's really helping with ideas. We're not sure where the land will be or what it will look like, or even if it will
I still want to move to Queensland, but all our family and most of our friends are still in WA, so it's going to be really hard if we decide to move away from WA. WA is our safe option and easy option. So yeah, who knows, but
we'll see what happens over the next year.
We'll start thinking about that in the next 6 months or so.
Probably,
yeah. We'll keep working on this.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, that's the main questions that we get asked. We didn't reach out and ask for questions to be sent through. These are just ones that we get on a regular basis through like Facebook Messenger, YouTube comments and stuff, Instagram Messenger or comments.
So if you do have any other questions, just post them in the comments
and we'll do this again soon.
Or message us on Instagram or Facebook and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, we're an open book. We're happy to chat. Dogs, kids, toilet training at the moment is fun. Oh man. But yeah, we're happy that if you're looking at doing this yourselves, reach out to us. We're happy to have a chat. Talk to me if you want to ask about cars. Talk to her if you want to ask about toilet training. She's got a lot more patience than I do.
Not sure about that.
But yeah, just flick anything through into the comments or just reach out to us. We're happy to chat. And if you see us out and about, come say good day.
Come say hi. Yeah.
Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy season 2 of Our Whittle Adventure. I'm going to be pumping out these videos pretty well straight behind this one, so we'll see you out there.
Yeah.
Catch you guys.